Good day, everyone, and our topic for this day is about solving roots of quadratic equations by completing the square. Our objective is to solve the quadratic equations by completing the square. And to proceed with this topic, you must have the skills and knowledge in addition and subtraction of integers and fractions and using the square root property. Another method for solving quadratic equations, aside sa extracting the square root at factoring, is through using the completing the square. This method can be applied for all quadratic equations. Kahit factorable or hindi factorable, pwede natin gamitin itong completing the square. Like the method of extracting the square roots, given the standard form of quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, ihiwalay natin yung constant c's doon sa isang side ng equation at yung coefficient na a doon sa ax squared should be reduced to 1. So again, yung value ng a natin dito sa quadratic equation must be 1 before using this method. Okay, so we have step by steps in solving roots of the quadratic equations using the completing the square. We have 5 steps and I will give you 3 minutes to copy all those things on your notebook. To understand more about this, let us have our first example. Example number 1. Solve the roots of x squared plus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. In our given, A is equal to 1, B is equal to 6, and C is equal to positive 8. So for our solution, step number 1, since A is equal to 1, isolate the constant term. Okay, so we have x squared plus 6x plus 8 is equal to 0. Ililipat natin si positive 8 dun sa kabilang side ng equation. So we will have x squared plus 6x is equal to negative 8. Next step, we have to add b over 2 squared to the both sides of the equations. So, in our solution, we have x squared plus 6x, then plus blank is equal to negative 8 plus blank. Yung blank dito, isosolve natin mula sa b over 2 squared. So, we have b over 2. Ang b natin is positive 6. So, we have 6 over 2. And then 6 divided by 2 is equal to positive 3. And then square the b over 2 is equal to 3 squared, which is positive 9. So, yung 9 ang ilalagay natin doon sa equations. So, we have 9 and 9. Step number 3, factor the perfect square trinomial in the left side. So, i-factor natin ito since ito ay perfect square trinomial and i-simplify natin yung nasa right side. So, when we factor this, we have x plus b over 2 squared. So, we will have x, ito yon, and ito yon, and then plus, depende dun sa sign ng middle term. Kapag ang middle term natin is plus, we are going to put here as plus. Okay? So, since plus ang given natin, so ilalagay natin ay plus. Then, b over 2, ang b over 2 natin ay positive 3. So, plus 3 is equal to negative 8 plus 9 is equal to positive 1. Next is extract the square of both sides of the equation to find the solutions. So, in here, we have, isa-square root natin yung both sides of the equation para matanggal ang squared. So, kapag ini-square root, i-square root natin ang both sides, cancel nga ngayon ang ating exponent na 2. So, kapag na-cancel natin ang exponent na 2, matatanggal yung square root, and matitira is yung x plus 3. Then, it is equal to, what is square root of 1? Square root of 1 is equal to positive and negative 1. And then, to find the solutions, ilipat natin si positive 3 dun sa kabila para si x na lang ang matitira sa left side. So, we have x is equal to negative 3 mula sa positive 3 dun sa left side, and then plus minus 1. Isang plus at isang minus. So, we have x is equal to negative 3 plus 1, and yung isa is x is equal to negative 3 minus 1. Solving further, negative 3 plus 1 is equal to negative 2, and negative 3 minus 1 is equal to negative 4. Therefore, the roots of x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0 are negative 2 and negative 4. To check if our answers are correct, we are going to substitute negative 2 and negative 4 dun sa ating given. Example number 2. Solve the roots of x squared minus 3x minus 1 is equal to 0. Here, a is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 3, and c is equal to negative 1. After this, we have a solutions in which we have to isolate the constant term. So we have x squared minus 3x, and then si negative 1 using the additive inverse and addition property of equality, we will have positive 1. And then we are going to add both sides of the equation by this blanks, and this blanks will be b over 2 squared. So, if you have b over 2 squared, b over 2 is, ang b natin is negative 3. Okay, so we have negative 3 over 2. And then, square natin ang b over 2. So, we will have negative 3 over 2 squared. And negative 3 times negative 3 is equal to 9. 2 squared is equal to 4. So, itong 9 over 4 ay ilalagay natin dito sa both sides of the equation. And kahit i-add natin yan to both sides of the equation, balance pa rin yung ating equation. So, we are going to put 9 over 4 and 9 over 4. Okay, so the next step is to factor the perfect square trinomial in the left side of this equation. So we have x, then blank square. So ilalagay natin yung part na ito para hindi tayo mahirapan sa pagka-factor is yung value ng b over 2. Ang b over 2 natin is negative 3 over 2. So therefore, we will have negative 3 over 2. And then equals 1 plus 9 over 4. Okay, so when we add 1 plus 9 over 4, it is equal to 9 over 4 plus, ang 1, ang katumbas niya is 4 over 4 in such a way na magkakaparesa tayo ng denominator. So we have 9 plus 9 equals 13 over 4. Since same denominator na tayo, all over 4. So we have 13 over 4. Okay, and then, so anong gagawin natin para mawala ang squared? Gagamit natin ang square root property. So, square root both sides of the equation. And then, maka-cancel ang square root, ganun din ang squared. So, ano ang matitira? Ang matitira dito is x minus 3 over 2 is equal to square root of 13 over 4. Okay, so we all know that square root of 13 over 4 can be written as square root of 13 over square root of 4. Can we simplify square root of 13? Hindi na. Hindi na. So, lagay natin square root of 13 over square root of 4. Can we simplify this? Yes, we all know that square root of 4 is equal to 2. Okay, so therefore, we have positive and negative square root of 13 over 2. Okay, and then to get the roots of this equation, ilipat natin si negative 3 over 2 dun sa kabila. So, ano ang matitira? We have x. So, x is equal to 3 over 2 plus minus square root of 13 over 2. Okay, since we have same denominator, pwede na natin pagsamahin ang dalawang numerators na yung isa ay pinag-plus, yung isa ay pinag-minus. We cannot add whole numbers to the radical. So that is why the final answer, the roots of x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals 0 are 3 plus square root of 13 over 2 and 3 minus square root of 13 over 2. Example number 3. Solve the roots of 6x squared minus 12x plus 2 equals 0. So, we all know that we can simplify this kind of trinomial. So, but before this, let us check if the given value of a dun sa equation natin is 1. Since ang a natin is not 1, we should divide both sides of the equation by the value of a, which is 6. Kapag dinivide na natin both sides yan, so we have 6 divided by 6 equals 1. 12, negative 12 divided by 6 is equal to negative 2. And 2 over 6 ay magiging 1/3. Okay, and then 0 over 6, we all know that it is 6. Kapag ang a natin is 1 na, pwede na natin gamitin ang completing the square. Okay, so our a here now is 1, b is a negative 2, and c is equal to 1/3. Yung simplified form ng given equation na natin, doon na natin kukunin yung a, b, and c. Okay, after this, isolate the constant term. So we have x squared plus 2x is equal to negative 1/3, and then plus blank and plus blank. Again, yung blank na ito ay manggagaling sa b over 2 squared, and b over 2 is equal to, ang b is negative 2 from here over 2. We all know that it is equal to negative 1. So add both sides. And then when we square b over 2 squared, so we will have negative 1 squared, which is 1. So plus 1 and plus 1. Okay, and then factor this perfect square trinomial. Okay, so we have x plus, ang kunin mo dyan yung value ng b over 2, so which is negative 1, so minus 1. Okay, and then it is equal to negative 1/3 plus 1. So, negative 1/3, we can simplify this. We can write 1 as 3 over 3 in such a way na magkakaparehas tayo ng denominator. Okay, and then we have negative 1/3 plus. So, negative 1 plus 3 is equal to 2. And then copy the denominator, which is 3. So, the right side is 2 over 3. Again, after this, square root both sides of the equation. And then we will have x minus 1 is equal to the positive and negative square root of 2 over 3. We all know that 2 and 3 are not perfect square numbers. And hindi na natin kaya simplify ang square root of 2 as well as square root of 3. So, since hindi na kaya yan i-simplify, ilipat na natin agad si 1. So, x is equal to positive and negative square root of 2 over 3. Okay, so we cannot add also a whole number to the radical expression. So, therefore, ang makukuha nating roots ay yung isang plus at yung isa ay minus. Therefore, the roots of 6x squared minus 12x minus 2 equals 0 are 1 plus square root of 2 over 3 and 1 minus square root of 2 over 3. Last example number 4. Example number 4. Solve the roots of 3x squared minus 2x minus 4 equals 0. Okay, again, we cannot able to use the completing the square since a is not 1. So, to solve for this, divide both sides of the equation, whatever the value of a is. So, we have 3x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. And then divide both sides of the equation by 3. So, simplifying this, we have x squared minus 2 over 3. Hindi natin kayang simplify ang 2 over 3. Then, x minus 4 over 3 is equal to 0. Okay, and then, kapag ang a natin is 1, we can able to get the value of a, b, and c. A is equal to 1, b is equal to negative 2 over 3, and c is equal to negative 4 over 3. Okay, after this, isolate the constant term and maglalagay tayo ng plus blank and plus blank. So, we have x squared minus 2 over 3x plus blank equals, okay, si negative 4 over 3 magiging 4 over 3 plus blank. Okay, naging positive dito sa right side. So, ano yung gagawin natin para do sa blank na ito? Kukunin natin yung b over 2 squared. So, we have b over 2 is equal to negative 2 over 3 over 2. So, pwede siyang isulat as negative 2 over 3 para hindi kayo mahirapan, divided by 2 over 1. And kapag nagkaroon tayo ng complex numbers, katulad nito, magkakaroon tayo ng, i-reciprocate natin yung second number, wherein yung numerator magiging denominator and yung denominator magiging numerator. So, we will have negative 2 over 3 times 1 half. Okay? Kapag ni-reciprocate na yung divisor natin, gagawin natin ito multiplication. So, we will have negative 2 times 1 equals 2 over 3 times 2 equals 6. Or simply, negative 2 over 6 is equal to negative 1/3. Okay, so what is b over 2 squared? Okay, ang b over 2 squared, we have negative 1/3. And then squared is equal to negative times negative equals positive na 1 over 9. So, yung 1 over 9 na yan, ay ilalagay natin dito. 1 over 9 and 1 over 9. Okay, and then factor this by having x and then squared natin. And kopyahin mo yung b over 2, which is negative 1/3. Okay, is equal to 4 over 3. Okay, plus 1 over 9. So, kunin natin ang LCD. What is the LCD of 3 and 9? The LCD is 9. Then divide, multiply. 9 divided by 3 is equal to 3. Diba? Times 4 equals 12. Okay, and then plus 9 divided by 9, that is 1 times 1 equals 1. So, 13 over 9. So, dito is 13 over 9. So, i-square root both sides of the equation. I-square root. So, cancel ito and ito. Matitira is x minus 1/3 is equal to square root of 13 can be written as square root of 13 over square root of 9. And simplifying further, we cannot able to simplify square root of 13. So, we have square root of 13 over square root of 9, that is 3. So, we will have positive and negative square root of 13 over 3. Okay, since x ang kinukuha natin dito, lipat natin si negative 1/3. So, we will have x is equal to 1/3, okay, plus square root of 13, plus minus square root of 13 over 3. And since pareso tayo ng denominator, pagsamahin na lang natin ang numerator. And paghiwalayin natin na yung isa pinag-plus and yung isa pinag-minus. So, x sub 1 is equal to 1 plus square root of 13 over 3. And yung isa is x squared. Yung isa, x sub 2 is equal to 1 minus square root of 13 over 3. So, therefore, the roots of 3x squared minus 2x minus 4 equals 0 are 1 plus square root of 13 over 3 and 1 minus square root of 13 all over 3. And these are now the final answers. For our practice, solve the roots of the following quadratic trinomials using the completing the square. Pause this video for 10 minutes to solve this practice. Okay, so and then here are the answers. I do hope that you learned something today about completing the square. And to end this, we have a quote from Saint Joseph Marello. Not only is the humility the guardian of purity, it is also the safeguard of the precious gift of faith. Thank you and God bless.